The echo of my sister's laughter filled our parents' dining room as my business cards fluttered across the polished oak floor. Really, Sophia, corporate synergy advisor? Give up the act, you're not fooling anyone. I watched Clara, my younger sister by 3 years, press her sleek designer heel into one of my cards, smudging the embossed text I'd splurged on. At 29, she was the darling of our family's version of achievement, freshly appointed director at Pinnacle Solutions, a booming fintech firm in Boston. Those cards aren't cheap, Clara, I said softly, kneeling to gather the scattered pieces of my professional persona. Money you shouldn't be throwing away, she grinned, flashing a diamond bracelet, a gift from our parents for her new role. Let's be real, big sister. Advising is just a polite way of saying jobless. Hi, before I dive deeper, tell me where you're joining from. Comment below, and please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, it really helps to grow. Our mother entered, balancing a platter of hors d'oeuvres for Clara's celebratory supper. Sophia, darling, are you still dabbling in that independent work? You know your father could pull strings for something secure. I stood, slipping the salvaged cards into my coat pocket. The coat was Gucci, though they'd never guess it wasn't from a discount bin. To them, I was the family letdown, the one who'd abandoned a proper career to launch my own venture. I'm managing, Mom, I replied, my mind on the meeting I'd just left, where I'd finalized the acquisition of Pinnacle Solutions through my holding company, Nova Enterprises. Managing isn't thriving, Clara cut in, lounging in our mother's velvet armchair. While you're advising, I'll be reshaping Pinnacle. They practically pleaded for me to join. I hid a smile, knowing the CEO had already been discreetly notified of impending leadership shifts. Clara was clueless that her dream job was about to transform radically. When do you start? I asked, though I knew the answer. Wednesday, she beamed, pulling out her own business cards, sleek, matte finish with Director of Operations in silver. Unlike some, I have a legitimate title at a legitimate company. Our father strode in, radiating pride. Sweetheart, I just spoke with Martin at the yacht club. Everyone's buzzing about your new role. Finally, a Thompson making waves in the corporate scene. I thought of the news that would break next week when Nova Enterprises unveiled its ownership of Pinnacle. The enigmatic holding company was the talk of Boston's business circles, famed for bold takeovers and cutting-edge strategies. No one suspected that behind the corporate veil was the eldest Thompson, quietly amassing a fortune while her family scoffed at her choices. Sophia was just flaunting her business cards, Clara said, air-quoting business. Dad glanced at the crumpled card on the floor. Advising. Sweetie, it's been 4 years. Maybe it's time to admit this startup phase isn't panning out. 4 years. While they assumed I was scraping by on odd jobs, I'd turned our grandfather's inheritance, a modest $500,000 they thought I'd squander, into a holding company valued at over $400 million. Nova Enterprises now held stakes in 15 firms across the financial sector, each acquisition executed with precision and anonymity. Actually, I said, grabbing my satchel, I have meetings tomorrow. Major shifts on the horizon. Shifts? Mom perked up. Are you finally looking at real jobs? Something like that. I smiled, recalling the email I'd received during dinner, confirming Nova Enterprises' 72% ownership of Pinnacle Solutions shares. Don't expect me to put in a word for you at Pinnacle, Clara called as I headed for the door. We have standards. I paused, turning back. No worries, Clara. I suspect we'll cross paths soon enough. In my car, a practical Honda that wouldn't raise eyebrows, I checked my messages. My assistant had confirmed everything was set for Wednesday's reveal. The board would convene at 8 a.m. to ratify the acquisition, followed by a firm-wide meeting where Pinnacle's new owner would be announced. The same meeting where Clara would learn her older sister wasn't just thriving, she was her boss. My phone pinged with a text from Mom. Darling, Clara left some of her business contacts here. Should I keep them for you? Could be useful. I thought of the stack of NDAs on my desk at Nova Enterprises, ones every Pinnacle executive, including their newest director, would sign on Wednesday. No thanks, Mom, I typed. I've got all the contacts I need. The weekend dragged on with a flurry of family texts praising Clara's triumph. Mom sent constant updates about her new office decor. Dad forwarded articles about Pinnacle Solutions' bright prospects. Even our aunts joined in, congratulating us for finally having a notable family member. I read each message from my loft office, watching Boston's Tuesday evening mist drift past high-rises. The Nova Enterprises logo, a comet streaking through stars, glowed on the wall behind my desk, fitting for what tomorrow would unleash. Ms. Thompson, my assistant Lily's voice crackled through the intercom. Final confirmation from the board. All 12 members have signed confidentiality agreements for tomorrow's announcement. Only the CEO knows who you are. I grinned, recalling my meeting with Victor Hayes, Pinnacle's CEO, last week. His astonishment at learning the elusive head of Nova Enterprises was the sister of his newest hire was unforgettable. And Clara's onboarding schedule begins at 7 a.m. with HR forms. The firm-wide meeting is at 9 a.m. in the Grand Conference Hall. We've reserved her a front-row seat. Perfect, I said. Let her bask in her moment before everything shifts. My phone buzzed again, a family group chat. Clara, last chance for job tips, sis. My cards may cost a fortune, but at least they're not trash-bound. Grinning squinting face, I was drafting a reply when Lily hurried in, phone in hand. Your sister just posted on LinkedIn about revolutionizing Pinnacle's future. The comments, you should see them. The post was predictable. Clara in a tailored blazer, posed before Pinnacle's logo, vowing sweeping changes under her guidance. Our father had commented, that's my girl. Show them how a Thompson runs things. If only they knew. Lily, ensure the videographer is ready tomorrow. I want to capture the moment Clara realizes who owns Pinnacle. Already set, she replied, though she paused. Your parents might be there too. Clara said they're touring her new office. Even better, I said. Let them all see their assumptions about success collapse. I spent Tuesday refining my plans for Pinnacle. The firm had promise but was mired in old-school practices, exactly why I'd targeted it. Under Nova Enterprises, we'd overhaul their systems, optimize workflows, and dismantle the elitist culture stifling progress. My phone kept pinging. Mom, Clara's office overlooks the harbor. When will you get a view like that? Dad, daughter's already booking meetings with top investors. That's real business. Clara, should I reserve you a storage room at Pinnacle? Perfect. For advising winking face, I ignored them, focusing on tomorrow's speech, where I'd unveil my vision for Pinnacle's future, a future without a director of operations role for my sister. At 11 p.m., a final text arrived from our grandfather, the only family member in on my secret. Shake them up tomorrow, kiddo. Success is sweet, but watching them squirm is sweeter. I slept well that night, dreaming of conference rooms and shattered wine glasses. Wednesday morning dawned crisp and vibrant in Boston. I dressed meticulously. In a tailored suit that cost more than Clara's annual bonus, the same one I'd worn to sign the acquisition papers for Pinnacle Solutions. This time, I added grandfather's sapphire cufflinks, a nod to the inheritance that sparked my journey. Miss Thompson, Lily called through my office's private intercom as I adjusted my tie in the penthouse suite. Your sister just arrived at Pinnacle. She's already stirring things up. She's reassigned 3 junior staff and requested her office be refurnished to match her aesthetic. I glanced at my watch, 7:15 a.m., how long until she's done with HR? About 45 minutes, Lily replied. She's pushing them to rush it so she can start leading immediately. Ideal timing, I said. Let her build her castle before it crumbles. I stepped into my chauffeured Mercedes, not the understated Honda I used for family gatherings, but the sleek vehicle reserved for Nova Enterprises business. As we approached Pinnacle's gleaming headquarters, I spotted my parents entering the lobby, dressed as if attending a gala. My phone buzzed with a final taunt from Clara. Top floor office looks amazing, sis. I'll wave when I see you fetching coffee. Face blowing a kiss, I typed back, my first reply of the day, excited for our 9 o'clock meeting. Don't be late. Her response was instant. Sorry, Sophia. Directors only. Catch you later. At Pinnacle's entrance, the security team straightened as I approached. They'd been briefed on the true owner of their company. The receptionist leapt up. Welcome, Miss Thompson. The board is ready when you are. I nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. It was time to show my family what ambition, built in silence, could achieve. At 8:50 a.m., I stood backstage in Pinnacle's Grand Conference Hall, listening to the hum of 400 employees filling the space. Through a gap in the curtain, I saw Clara in the front row, holding court with our parents, her new assistant scurrying with a tablet and a latte. Everyone's in place, Lily whispered, handing me a tablet with the latest board report. Your sister just sent a firm-wide email declaring her era of innovation begins today. I glanced at the email on my tablet. As your new director of operations, Clara wrote, I pledge to redefine Pinnacle Solutions. The revolution starts now. She had no clue how accurate that was. Victor Hayes, Pinnacle's CEO, approached, his expression a mix of nerves and respect. Miss Thompson, your sister's already requested a budget overhaul and dismissed another analyst. She's confident. Don't worry, Victor, I said. The overhaul's coming, just not her version. At 9 a.m. sharp, Victor took the stage. The hall hushed, save for Clara's stage whisper to our parents, watch this. Victor's probably announcing my first big project. Good morning, Pinnacle Solutions, Victor began. Our company has seen transformative changes recently. Today, I'm privileged to introduce the leader who will guide our future, the founder of Nova Enterprises and our new majority shareholder. I watched Clara lean forward, likely expecting some high-profile tycoon. Please welcome our new owner and CEO, Sophia Thompson. The silence was deafening as I stepped onto the stage. In the front row, Clara's latte cup hit the floor, splashing across her designer shoes. Our mother gasped, clutching her necklace. Dad's jaw tightened, his face paling. Thank you, Victor, I said, taking the podium. For those unfamiliar, I'm the founder and CEO of Nova Enterprises. As of last week, we own 72% of Pinnacle Solutions. Whispers erupted. Phones flashed, capturing the shock. Clara looked like she'd stopped breathing. Some of you received an email this morning about an era of innovation, I continued, relishing Clara's slump in her seat. That era begins now, though not as some might have assumed. I clicked to my presentation's first slide, showcasing Nova Enterprises' portfolio of 16 thriving fintech firms. Under our leadership, Pinnacle will upgrade its platforms, expand globally, and, most critically, I met Clara's stunned gaze, eliminate outdated hierarchies that value status over substance. Our father stood, his voice unsteady. Now, hold on, security, I said calmly, please escort non-employees from the hall. We're discussing proprietary matters. As guards approached, Clara sprang up. You can't do this. I'm director of operations. I clicked to the next slide, revealing the new organizational chart. That role has been phased out in our restructuring, I said. Though I hear data entry needs a new hire. You took that spreadsheet course, didn't you? But my office, my cards. Clara stammered. They'll need to be cleared by 11 o'clock, I said. Company policy for eliminated roles. Though, unlike you, I won't toss your cards. They might make a curious display someday. Our mothers' eyes welled up. Sophia, how could you do this to your sister? The same way you all did it to me, I replied, my voice clear across the hall. By assuming success wears one face, by dismissing anyone who doesn't fit your mold. The next hour was a whirlwind of strategic announcements and bold plans. I outlined Nova Enterprises' vision for Pinnacle, modernized systems, inclusive culture, and aggressive market growth. Employees, initially stunned, grew animated, asking eager questions. My family, meanwhile, sat petrified in the front row, watching their worldview unravel. After the presentation, I found them outside my new office, the one Clara had been redecorating. This is mortifying, Clara hissed. I've told everyone about my role. Consider it a lesson in research, I said, admiring the harbor view. Always check who owns the company before you start rearranging it. Dad tried his diplomatic tone. Sweetheart, surely we can talk this out. Family supports family. Like you supported me? I countered. By mocking my work, trashing my cards, acting like I was a failure for forging my own path? Mom pleaded, we were guiding you. No, I said, sitting at my desk, grandfather's cufflinks glinting. You were boxing me into your idea of success. But real success doesn't beg for approval. Clara made a final plea. The yacht club. My reputation. Give me a chance. I don't have to, I said, opening my laptop. But since you're keen on advising now, here's my card. I slid a Nova Enterprises card across the desk. Handle it gently, there. Pricey. Security arrived, and as they left, I heard Clara ask Dad if his old colleague's firm had any openings. I turned to the window, the Boston skyline stretching before me, and prepared for the work ahead. The morning after the announcement, Boston's financial district buzzed with speculation about Nova Enterprises' takeover of Pinnacle Solutions. I arrived at my new office, the corner suite Clara had briefly claimed, at 6:30 a.m., greeted by a stack of reports and a steaming espresso from Lily, my assistant. Miss Thompson, she said, tablet in hand, the press is clamoring for interviews. Bloomberg and Forbes both want exclusives on how you built Nova Enterprises under the radar. I nodded, scanning the headlines on my laptop. Mystery mogul unveiled, Sophia Thompson takes helm at Pinnacle. Schedule a press conference for Friday, I said. We'll control the narrative. My phone vibrated with a family group chat notification. Mom, Sophia, we need to talk. This is tearing us apart. Dad, you've made your point, but humiliating Clara was uncalled for. Clara, enjoy your moment, sis. It won't last. Face with steam from nose, I left the messages unread, focusing on the day's agenda. Pinnacle's senior team was due at 8 a.m. for a strategy session, and I'd scheduled one-on-one meetings with department heads to assess talent. Clara's hasty dismissals yesterday had left gaps, but I saw opportunity in fresh perspectives. At 7:45 a.m., Lily buzzed the intercom. Victor Hayes is here early. He's anxious. I smiled. Pinnacle's CEO had been cooperative, but Clara's antics had rattled him. Send him in. Victor entered, adjusting his tie. Miss Thompson, I've had calls from board members all night. They're thrilled about Nova Enterprises' vision but worried about stability after yesterday's theatrics. Stability starts today, I assured him. We'll streamline operations and promote from within where possible. Clara's cuts were impulsive, but we'll turn disruption into momentum. As Victor left, my phone pinged again, this time a LinkedIn notification. Clara had posted a cryptic update, new beginnings on the horizon. Resilience is my brand. #next chapter. The comments were a mix of encouragement from her network and subtle shade from industry peers who'd caught wind of Pinnacle's shake-up. I archived the post, knowing her next chapter would likely involve a humbling job search. My family assumed I'd acted out of spite, but acquiring Pinnacle was strategic. Its untapped potential aligned perfectly with Nova Enterprises' portfolio, and Clara's role was collateral damage in a larger plan. The senior team meeting at 8 o'clock was electric. Managers, initially wary, warmed to my pitch: modernized platforms, employee-driven innovation, and a flat hierarchy to replace Pinnacle's old guard culture. We're not here to cut jobs, I said, addressing their unspoken fears. We're here to grow. Nova Enterprises has a track record: 17 successful firms, $450 million in combined revenue last year. Pinnacle's next. Questions flew, from tech upgrades to market expansion. I answered each, drawing on 4 years of building Nova. From grandfather's $600,000 inheritance into a financial powerhouse. By noon, I'd met with 3 department heads. The CTO, a sharp woman named Elena, pitched a blockchain integration I hadn't considered. Clara shot down my proposal last week, she admitted. Said it was too risky. Send me the details, I said. Risk is our edge. The contrast was stark, Clara's snap judgments versus my focus on data-driven growth. As Elena left, Lily handed me a memo. The board's approved your restructuring plan, including the elimination of Clara's director role. They're also greenlit your $20 million R&D fund. Excellent, I said, signing it. And the staff feedback? Overwhelmingly supportive. They're calling you the catalyst Pinnacle needed. Lunch was a quick affair, eaten at my desk while reviewing Clara's now-cancelled initiatives. Her vision had been flashy, rebranded logos, lavish retreats, but lacked substance. I drafted a company-wide email redirecting focus to practical goals: system upgrades by Q3, new client contracts within 5 weeks, and cross-team collaboration. Before sending, I glanced at the framed photo on my desk, grandfather and me at my college graduation, his eyes gleaming with shared ambition. He believed in me when my family saw only failure. Today was as much his victory as mine. My phone buzzed with another text from Mom. Clara's devastated. She hasn't left her apartment. Can you at least meet with her? I hesitated, then replied, busy with Pinnacle's future. She'll bounce back. Harsh, maybe, but Clara's taunts, trashing my cards, dismissing my career, still stung. Success wasn't about revenge, but accountability. She'd learned that titles don't guarantee power. Results do. At 2 p.m., I toured Pinnacle's floors, meeting employees. The energy was palpable, coders brainstorming, analysts sharing data, free from the fear Clara's brief reign had sparked. A young data scientist stopped me. Miss Thompson, I read about Nova Enterprises. How'd you stay anonymous so long? By letting results speak louder than business cards, I smiled. Back in my office, Lily flagged a new LinkedIn post. From Dad, proud of my daughter's grit. The Thompson name shines, even in tough times. A clear nod to Clara, ignoring me. I let it slide, focusing on a call with Nova's legal team to finalize Pinnacle's integration. By 5 p.m., I'd outlined next steps: a tech audit, a hiring push, and a client summit in 6 weeks. As I packed up, Lily rushed in. Your parents are downstairs. They insist on seeing you. I sighed, expecting a confrontation. In the lobby, Mom's eyes were red, Dad's posture stiff. Sophia, Mom began, this has gone too far. Clara's a wreck. Your family. Family didn't stop her from mocking me for years, I said. Or you from assuming I'd fail. Dad cut in, we underestimated you. But ruining Clara's career? That's cold. I didn't ruin her, I corrected. Pinnacle needed change. Her role didn't fit. She'll find something, maybe not with a harbor view, but something. Mom clutched her purse. You've changed, Sophia. Success shouldn't make you cruel. It's not cruelty, I said, voice steady. It's clarity. I built Nova Enterprises while you all laughed. Now I'm saving Pinnacle, not settling scores. Dad tried one last angle. The yacht club's asking questions. Let's handle this quietly, for the family name. The Thompson names. Fine, I said, turning to the elevator. It's on Pinnacle's letterhead now. As the doors closed, I caught Mom's whisper, she's not our Sophia anymore. Back in my office, I reviewed tomorrow's schedule, investor calls, a tech demo, and prep for the press conference. My phone lit up with a text from grandfather, heard about Pinnacle's stock jump. Proud of you, kid. Let them stew, they'll come around. I smiled, picturing Clara's crumpled business cards, now in a drawer as a reminder of assumptions shattered. Pinnacle's stock had climbed 25% since the announcement, and employee morale was soaring. My family's drama faded against the reality of Nova Enterprises' next chapter. As night fell over Boston, I stood at my office window, the harbor lights reflecting ambition and resolve. Clara's fall was her own making, but Pinnacle's rise was mine. And I was just getting started. The week after the Pinnacle Solutions acquisition announcement felt like sprinting through a storm. By Thursday morning, Boston's business scene was alight with chatter about Nova Enterprises' bold move. I arrived at Pinnacle's headquarters at 6 a.m., the harbor outside my office window still cloaked in dawn's haze. My desk was buried under market analyses, employee proposals, and media requests. Lily, my assistant, greeted me with a fresh cappuccino and a tablet. Ms. Thompson, the press conference tomorrow is fully booked, CNN, TechCrunch, even the Wall Street Journal. They're calling you the silent titan of fintech. I smirked. Good. Let's keep them guessing until we're ready. My phone buzzed with a family group chat update. Mom, Sophia, we're worried about Clara. She's not answering calls. Please, let's meet. Dad, this stunt at Pinnacle hurt our reputation. Fix this, for family. Clara, you won, Sophia. Happy now? Pouting face, I set the phone face down, focusing on the day's priorities, a board meeting at 9 a.m., a tech integration review, and final prep for the press conference. Clara's unraveling was unfortunate, but I hadn't built Nova Enterprises by coddling egos, hers or mine. At 8:45 a.m., Lily buzzed the intercom. The board's assembling, and Victor Hayes wants a quick word first. I nodded, expecting more fallout from Clara's brief tenure. Victor entered, looking steadier than yesterday. Ms. Thompson, the board's fully behind your R&D fund and restructuring. But some investors are nervous about the optics of your sister's exit. Optics are temporary, I said. Results are permanent. Our stock's up 28% since Monday. They'll come around. Victor hesitated, then added, Clara's been emailing senior staff, asking for context on her dismissal. Should I intervene? Let her, I said. She'll find every response references Nova's new direction, my direction. The board meeting was a triumph. Directors, initially skeptical, nodded as I presented data. Nova Enterprises' 18 portfolio companies had a combined valuation of $480 million, and Pinnacle's projected growth under our plan, 15% annually, was conservative. We're not just acquiring, I said. We're transforming. Pinnacle's old culture stifled talent, we're unleashing it. A director asked about Clara's role. Eliminated for efficiency, I replied. Titles don't drive progress, vision does. The room murmured approval, and by 10:30 a.m., the board had approved my $25 million innovation budget. Post-meeting, I met with the head of engineering, a wiry man named Raj, who'd been sidelined under Clara's streamlining. He pitched an AI-driven analytics tool that could cut client onboarding time by 40%. Clara called it speculative, he said. Speculative's my specialty, I replied, greenlighting a pilot. Raj's enthusiasm mirrored the shift I felt across Pinnacle. Employees, freed from Clara's micromanaging, were pitching ideas with newfound zeal. By noon, I'd approved 3 new projects, each leveraging tech Clara had dismissed as unproven. Lunch was a protein bar at my desk while I reviewed media talking points. The press conference would be my chance to redefine Pinnacle's story, not as a family drama but as a fintech revolution. I glanced at the framed photo of grandfather and me, his sapphire cufflinks glinting on my wrists. He'd taught me that success wasn't loud, it was deliberate. My family's taunts, Clara's card trashing, Mom's freelance jabs, Dad's real job lectures, had fueled my resolve, but grandfather's quiet faith had shaped it. My phone pinged again. Mom, Clara's interviewing at a startup. She's struggling. Meet us tonight? I typed back, Pinnacle's my focus. Clara's resourceful, she'll manage. Cold, perhaps, but Clara's years of belittling my advisory work didn't earn her a bailout. Still, a twinge of guilt hit me. I pushed it aside, diving into a report on Pinnacle's cloud infrastructure, which needed a $10 million overhaul. To compete globally. At 2 p.m., I walked the floors, chatting with staff. A junior analyst, barely 24, showed me a dashboard she'd built to track client metrics, something Clara had rejected as redundant. It's live now, I told her. Lead the rollout. Her grin was infectious, a reminder of why I'd targeted Pinnacle, not to settle scores, but to unlock potential. Back in my office, Lily flagged a new LinkedIn post from Clara, embracing challenges. New opportunities ahead. #Resilient Thompson. The comments were polite but sparse. Her network sensed the truth. Dad had commented, "That's our girl." Thompson's bounce back. No mention of me, naturally. By 4 p.m., I was knee-deep in press prep when Lily rushed in. Your parents are in the lobby again, with Clara this time. They're demanding a meeting. I exhaled, steeling myself. In the conference room, Clara sat stiffly, her designer suit swapped for a plain blazer. Mom's eyes were puffy, Dad's face was set. Sophia, Mom started, this has to stop. Clara's reputation is in tatters. Clara cut in, voice sharp. You planned this, didn't you? To humiliate me. I planned to save Pinnacle, I said. Your role didn't fit the vision. That's business, not personal. Dad leaned forward. Business? You're tearing the family apart. The yacht club's whispering, people think we're a circus. Then let them talk, I said. Pinnacle's stock is up, and we've signed 2 major clients since Monday. That's what matters. Clara's eyes flashed. You could have warned me. I'd have stepped down quietly. Would you have? I asked. You trashed my cards, called my work a joke. You assumed I was nothing because I didn't flaunt a title. Mom sobbed. We just wanted you to be secure, Sophia. I am, I said, gesturing to the office. Nova Enterprises is worth $500 million. Security's not my problem, your assumptions were. Clara stood, voice trembling. I'm interviewing for a junior role tomorrow. Junior, Sophia. Happy? Not happy, I said. But you'll learn what I did, real success isn't handed to you. Dad tried one last plea. Fix this, for the Thompson name. The name's fine, I said, standing. It's leading. Pinnacle now. As they left, Clara muttered, this isn't over. I let it go, returning to my desk to finalize tomorrow's speech. That night, I worked late, the Boston skyline glittering outside. My phone buzzed with a text from grandfather. Pinnacle soaring. You're rewriting the rules, kid. Stay sharp. I smiled, tucking Clara's crumpled business card into a drawer beside grandfather's photo. Tomorrow's press conference would seal Nova Enterprises' legacy, and mine. Clara's fall was her lesson, Pinnacle's rise was my proof. Friday morning broke over Boston with a clarity that mirrored my focus. I stood in Pinnacle Solutions' Grand Conference Hall at 7 a.m., rehearsing my press conference speech. The harbor sparkled outside, a backdrop to the stage where I'd redefine Nova Enterprises' role in fintech. My suit, a bespoke navy piece costing more than Clara's former signing bonus, was paired with grandfather's sapphire cufflinks, a quiet tribute to the man who'd seen my potential when others saw failure. Lily, my assistant, approached with a tablet. Miss Thompson, the room's set, reporters from 19 outlets, plus live streams on CNBC and Bloomberg. You're trending on X as fintech as dark horse. I nodded. Let's make it count. My phone buzzed with a family group chat notification. Mom, Sophia, we saw Clara's interview. She's trying, but you've broken her spirit. Dad, this press stunt better not drag our name further. Think of the family. Clara, hope you choke on your speech, sis. Angry face, I muted the chat, focusing on the teleprompter. Today wasn't about family drama, it was about proving Nova Enterprises' vision, built from grandfather's $700,000 inheritance into a $510 million empire over 5 years. At 8 a.m., the hall filled with reporters, analysts, and Pinnacle employees. Victor Hayes, the CEO, gave a brief introduction, his voice steady despite the week's upheaval. Pinnacle Solutions stands at a turning point, he said. Today, we introduce the leader driving our future. I stepped to the podium, the crowd hushing. Through the lights, I spotted my parents and Clara in the back row, uninvited but present, their faces a mix of resentment and curiosity. Good morning, I began. I'm Sophia Thompson, founder and CEO of Nova Enterprises. As of this week, we own 72% of Pinnacle Solutions, marking our 19th acquisition and our boldest yet. Cameras flashed as I clicked to a slide showing Nova's portfolio, 20 thriving firms, $520 million in assets, and a 17% average annual growth rate. Pinnacle was stagnant, trapped in outdated systems and elitist culture, I said. Under Nova, we're modernizing tech, empowering talent, and targeting 20% market expansion by next year. Questions came fast, about my anonymity, Nova's strategy, and Clara's exit. My sister's role was eliminated for efficiency, I said coolly. Pinnacle's future demands agility, not legacy titles. Clara's glare burned from the back, but I held the room's attention. An analyst asked, how did you build Nova unseen? I smiled. By working in silence while others chased applause. Results don't need business cards, they need execution. The crowd murmured, some nodding. I outlined Pinnacle's roadmap, a $30 million tech overhaul, 3 new client deals signed this week, and a culture shift to prioritize innovation over hierarchy. We're not here to play it safe, I said. We're here to lead. Applause broke out, and I caught Lily's grin from the wings. The press conference ended with a surge of excitement, reporters clamoring for follow-ups. Back in my office, Lily handed me a stack of articles already live: Thompson's takeover, a new era for Pinnacle, and Nova Enterprises stealth CEO shakes fintech. Pinnacle stock had jumped another 10%, hitting a 38% gain since Monday. I was reviewing investor emails when Lily buzzed. Your family's outside. They're insistent. I sighed, bracing for another showdown. In the conference room, Clara stood rigid, her startup interview blazer swapped for a defiant red dress. Mom's face was tear-streaked, Dad's was stern. Sophia, Mom started, that speech was cruel. You painted Clara as a failure. I stated facts, I said. Her role didn't fit. Pinnacle's thriving because of it. Clara stepped forward, voice sharp. I landed a junior analyst job today. Junior, Sophia. You think you've won, but you've lost us. I didn't lose you, I countered. You lost me, years ago, when you trashed my cards, called my work a sham. I built Nova while you mocked me. Dad cut in, the yacht club's shunning us. You've tarnished the Thompson name. No, I said, pointing to my desk's nameplate. I've elevated it. Pinnacle's stock is soaring, and Nova's a household name. That's the Thompson legacy now. Mom's voice cracked. We just wanted you safe, not this. This, I said, gesturing to the office, is what happens when you bet on yourself. Grandfather knew that. You didn't. Clara's eyes narrowed. Grandfather's money started this. Don't act like you did it alone. His $700,000 was a seed, I said. I grew it into $500 million. That's not luck, that's work. Dad tried one last tack. Give Clara a role. Something small. For family. Family doesn't mock family, I said, standing. Clara's got her job. She'll climb back, if she learns what I did. As they left, Clara tossed a Nova Enterprises business card onto the table, crumpled. Keep it, she spat. I don't need your pity. I smoothed it out, placing it beside grandfather's photo. The gesture felt final, a line drawn. That evening, I received an invitation to speak at my alma mater's finance summit, themed Redefining Leadership. I accepted, planning to display Clara's crumpled card as a prop, a symbol of assumptions overturned. Over the next month, Pinnacle transformed. The tech overhaul launched, employee ideas fueled 6 new projects, and our client base grew by 25%. Clara's LinkedIn updates shifted from defiance to cautious optimism, her new role teaching her the grind I'd mastered years ago. Mom's text softened, asking to meet for coffee. Dad stopped entirely, his pride bruised. Grandfather sent a final text, saw Pinnacle's latest numbers. You've redefined success, kid. Keep shining. I framed it, hanging it beside his photo, standing at my office window, Boston's lights stretching below. I reflected on power, not titles, but impact. Clara's fall taught her resilience, my rise taught me patience. Nova Enterprises wasn't just a company, it was proof that success doesn't need permission, only vision. On my desk, Clara's card sat beside grandfather's cufflinks, a reminder of where I started and where I was going. The Thompson name wasn't just intact, it was unstoppable.